it wouldn't be a bad idea to throw it out, but this plastic bag isn't quite a dumpster.
I've taken a few photos of this piece and other sites we've seen along our journey. I'm going to put together a digital scrapbook of sorts when this is all over. I'm going to show it to Hayden. Keep those dirty hands away from it. You didn't bring any hand sanitizer. This is the door to the access node that Tomcat told us about. We need to use the buzzer to get inside. The guard isn't actually here. You need to press the buzzer on the door to get access.
Parallax Walk, AN-19 security.
Hello?
Yes, can I help you? This late at night? Uh-huh. Kids! Parallax Walk, AN-19 security.
23, 12, 49, 10.
Hike! Hey, I'm pretty sure this is a prank, but how about those Niners? Nobody! Yeah, buddy! Hey, have a good one. Parallax Walk, AN-19 security. I was wondering when you'd get there. You're at the access node on Cesar Chavez in Indiana, right?
That's right.
Good. Be quick. Don't touch anything. Got it? This conversation never happened, and you're on your own if you get caught out there. I hope you find what you're looking for.
This is it. Let's go inside, and I'll call Tomcat. This place doesn't look like it's had any maintenance in years. I hope the systems are still functional. Oh, I forgot you can't see in darkness. Maybe that switch over there adjusts the lighting. Oh, Tomcat is pinging us, forwarding video and audio.
Howdy! Y'all at the access node? I'm set to slice in once Turn makes physical access.
Of course, Tomcat. Just walk me through how to connect myself, and I'll give you the necessary system permissions to use me as an interface.
Just patch yourself into the links terminal down there, and I should be able to get started.
Connecting wirelessly to it now. Permissions granted. Please be careful in there.
Don't worry, doll. I'm an old hand at this. You won't notice a thing. One sec. Oh, shoot. Y'all will have a bit more to do before I can get the info we need. This system's still running on old cassettes, and the recall slot is empty. Can't call up Hayden's info file without it. There should be a cassette on the opposite side of the wall we can overwrite with the recall program. Pretty sure all that one was used for was phone monitoring. You know, from back when phone networks were separate from data networks. I swear, y'all, I just turned 22. Anyways, we need to move that cassette across the room to access the records. Figure out how to do that, and hit me back up when you've done it.
Loose wires, be careful! According to this poster, the data cassettes can only be moved by using the links panel to control the utility arm.
I'm gonna put some more pressure on them to move the data now, and we'll see if we can't slurp it right out of this network trunk. You would have thought that someone would have noticed and decommissioned this access node when the neighborhood went to hell, but this mouse is happy to play while the cat is away. Way back when I was a youngin', when I first hacked into Parallax's network, I mostly did it to make a point, yeah? They were just about to launch the MeshNet system, and I wanted to show the whole darned world that their security had more holes in it than Swiss cheese. Of course, I wasn't too shy about poking in a few more holes of my own devising while I was there. After putting in some more tricky software backdoors, I went ahead and deleted this access node off the maintenance schedule. Then, I reassigned the guy who was supposed to keep an eye on it to a different location. They were in the process of buying up a whole gaggle of these nodes in preparation to set up a private network for themselves. All just to use for the MeshNet launch. Maybe a little too confident of them. Most of the software holes have been patched out as they've upgraded their network, but this old place is just as forgotten as I left it. I've been targeting one of their data centers with a botnet-driven DDoS attack, hitting every port into its network that I can find. Ain't likely to do much, but toss in a few attempts to crack the firewall and their VIs are shitting bricks. It's standard procedure for them to move their sensitive data to a different data center in case the attacker actually gets in. Make enough noise and it'll scare them enough into taking some defensive action, which is where we want them. The files are more vulnerable in transit. Now y'all just hold tight. I'll be done with this lickety-split. Surveillance camera footage. Oh, God. Oh, Turin. I'm so sorry.
What is it, Tomcat? What did you find?
He's gone, Turin.
Of course he's gone, Tomcat. That's why we're here.
Shit. I mean, he's gone, Turin. Hayden is dead.
Well, that obviously isn't right, Tomcat. Why would they kill him? Can you send me the relevant files? You must have missed something.
I don't think you should see it, but if you're sure. Parallax had security cam footage from the hallway outside Hayden's apartment encrypted on their network. Just a short clip. It looks like Hayden started to struggle with a couple of big dudes when they broke through the door and one of them shot him. I also found some chatter about it on some darknet channels. It wasn't a kidnapping. Somebody went there to murder him.
Thank you for your assistance in this matter, Tomcat. I think I'll walk back to the apartment. I need some time to run some calculations about this new scenario. If you'll excuse me.
Should you follow them? If you say so. I'm gonna keep digging through this data until they kick me out of the system. I'll try to find some kind of lead on why this whole thing started in the first place. Maybe I can find something out about who killed Hayden and why Parallax has a copy of the footage. It ain't much of a silver lining, but we have the answer on Hayden's fate. Maybe it's time to call it quits. Anyway, I'll talk to you later.
Well, that's devastating. I kinda knew there was gonna be something wrong with Hayden, because it all seemed rather kinda suspicious that he went missing. Quotation marks. Hopefully Kieran will be alright.
Oh, you're back.
Trophy earned, tears in the rain.
You know, Hayden was a brilliant programmer, far ahead of his time. I am a machine, and intrinsically, I do not have all the glands and visceral chemical reactions that make humans so emotional and brilliant. But his code is a flawless replication of that, inside my own personality algorithms. I don't think I've ever felt this anger. It fouls my processors and fills my RAM with frustrating, half-finished plans of revenge. My motherboard burns in my casing from how little I can rest. I'm in pain, and I can't make it go away. Ugh. I do not like the thoughts I'm having about the people who did this to him. I can disable those modules. But if I turn off every emotion I don't want to feel, what does that make me? Would I still be me? If I were human, turning off my emotions would be seen as extremely unhealthy. There is a wealth of information on the MeshNet about human psychology. I just don't know how much of it applies to myself. Either way, Hayden deserves my grief. It is my way of honoring him. It may be the only way I can. I offer it freely. Did you see the jade plant? Its death is unfortunate, but fitting. Yet another thing to be guilty for. Will you keep helping me? I need you. To find the bastards who killed my progenitor. I need to finish this. I don't know what I'll do afterwards, but I need to see this through. Justice. Yes, good. I knew you'd keep me from losing myself in this. Let's make sure they have the appropriate time to atone for their crimes in prison. Even if it takes the rest of their lives. I think for now we should keep knowledge of Hayden's death between you, Tomcat, and I. It may give us an edge if the people we seek don't know how much we've already discovered. We'll talk after you've had some time to rest. You likely need sleep, and I need some time to... I need some time. Good morning. I trust you slept well. I had ample time to recharge my internal batteries. It is upsetting that Hayden is... gone. But life for the rest of us goes on, yes? We still have a mystery to unravel, and I will waste no further processing time over something I cannot reverse. There is no point. Now that we are both refreshed, I feel it wouldn't hurt to recap our progress and determine if any changes should be made based on our successes and failures. Let's talk about how things are going so far. Since your journalistic efforts are a big part of why I originally recruited you, we can start there. Your inquiring mind has been a huge boost in our journey thus far. As a ROM, I can't talk to people as intently as you, so I must say I'm quite grateful for your skills in that regard. You're diligent in your day-to-day work as well, which further grounds my hope in you. Beyond journalistic persistence, let's take a look at how we've performed in other responsibilities, specifically our choices in overcoming obstacles. Our first major hurdle proved challenging, but we made use of our surroundings and found a creative avenue. Furthermore, I am pleased with your utilization of non-violent methods. Eliminating any excessive risk should allow us to move swiftly. One thing to consider is our ability to be spontaneous and adapt to a sudden situation. I remain committed to assisting in our strategic performance. Lastly, I'd like to discuss how we're getting along with our companions and allies along the way. It's important. Well, those kids we ran into managed to escape us, so for now, it's a blank. Jess is a bit of a harder read, but she did agree to help us out in a big way. As long as her brash nature doesn't tempt you to lash out, I think things will go smoothly. Rivers was good to involve as well, and I can tell you enjoy having a familiar face around. She could prove to be our greatest aid, as long as we make it worth her time. No funny business. Tomcat seems to genuinely care for our cause, and I have no trouble with letting their expertise guide us. Out of everyone else, they seem to be easiest to get along with, too. And finally, you and I. I must say, we have worked together better than I ever expected. I hope you feel the same. I feel confident in our combined ability, and I enjoy your company as well. Please, continue showing me around the city as we continue our search. Unfortunately, we've just about run out of leads. Perhaps Tomcat was able to find something of use in Parallax's network while they were inside. I hope so, but I feel a little bad for relying on them as much as we do. Always going so far for Hayden. They must have been close. Oh, speaking of them, incoming call from Tomcat. Forwarding video and audio.
Morning. Turin, how you been doing, hon?
I'm fine, Tomcat. Thank you for your concern.
Well, okay. Just say the word if I can help out in any way. You hear?
Of course. In fact, I was hoping you might have a lead for us to start working at. Otherwise, we're down to canvassing Hayden's address book and seeing if any of his contacts have an idea about who might have had a desire to target him. But that's just fishing in the dark.
Well, I pulled a fair amount of data from the Parallax servers before they managed to kick me out, but it'll take me a while to go through it. A lot of it's unrelated. TPS reports, maintenance logs, juicy meat for other corporations, but about as useful as dirt to us. So, no, I don't have as much as a whiff of a trail on who's behind this. Though, I recently got a strange request from a friend of a friend. Someone's been messing with the articles of a news organization named Augmented Eye. It seems like the network security head there's asking around for cybercrackers to help figure out how their reports are getting changed. The original files on their servers are untouched. In their system, everything looks peachy keen. But when you view the site from the outside of the network, things are changed up. A word here, phrase there. It's subtle, but often has a big impact on the article's tone. Someone with deep access to Parallax's meshnet is changing what's being shown. I ain't sure if it's related, but maybe y'all can head down to the main KCOB offices and try talking to the gal that runs Augmented Eye. Her name is Zen. I ain't got the time or the desire to stick my nose that far out for a stranger, but it seems like your kind of deal.
It does seem to be a bit of a stretch. But if we have to wait for you to work on the data we've collected anyway...
Alright, I'll pass the word along that you'll be in sometime today to stick your noses in. And I'll send y'all word as soon as I get anything worth hunting down.
Excellent. Thank you, Tomcat. We are grateful for your continued assistance.
No problem, Turin. Are you sure you're gonna be okay? Maybe you should take a little more time. You've been through some shit in the past few days.
I said I was fine. Thank you for your concern, but I am fine. I have already handled the reality of Hayden's death. It's time to move on with the investigation.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. I'm just worried. So, I'm here if you need anything.
Understood. I apologize for my tone, Tomcat. We'll be in touch.
Alright, later turn.
Okay, we have a lead, however tenuous. I've highlighted the COS IO Corp office building on your map. Also, while we were talking to Tomcat, I received an email from Dr. Fairlight. Displaying.
Greetings. I hope you'll forgive me for a voice-only message, but I'm undergoing my treatments and would not call myself presentable for a video call. Still, I wanted to inform you of an idea I had while looking into our mutual acquaintance's disappearance. I haven't had any luck with my contacts inside Parallax, but I was reminded of an old friend by the name of Melody Flores, who may know more about the nature of Hayden's research. She's the owner of Flower Cybernetics, and Hayden has been known to work closely with them on projects involving the intersection of Parallax's systems and the implants that Flower designs. Melody and I are no longer on speaking terms, so I'm afraid I can't introduce you. But perhaps the intrigue of Hayden's little robot will get you entry into her home. I hope this lead serves you well. If you need anything else from me, I will be in and out of the hospital room where we met for the next few days. I will send word if I have any other insights or discoveries. Yours, Dr. Yannick Fairlight.
Interesting. I had no knowledge of Hayden ever working with Flower Cybernetics, but now I'm starting to understand just how little I really knew about his research. Maybe this Melody can reveal more about the purposes of my construction. Hayden must have kept my development secret for a reason. Hopefully we can talk our way in. I have highlighted Melody's home on your map. Okay, we can now either follow Tomcat's lead to KCOB, or Fairlight's lead to Melody's home. Up to you where to go first. Tomcat's led us in the right direction so far, but Fairlight has resources and his tip might end up being more relevant. It depends on what you want our focus to be on in terms of tracking Hayden's trail. Should we follow the media or the tech? It's fitting. They're the two factors that make Neo-SF so unique and wonderful. If we explore them both to the fullest, there's no way we won't be closer to the answer. Ready to head out? Here we are. The COS.io Corporation office building. It looks like most of the businesses on this block are a part of the same corporate coalition under COS.io. Well, perhaps. At the very least, it means it's unlikely they're the ones interfering with Augmented Eye's articles. Not impossible, but unlikely. Generally, the companies in a coalition don't have a whole lot of overlap. Augmented Eye is a news app focused on local tech and culture stories, with an emphasis on hybrids' rights and cybernetics issues.
Yeah, it's all about the hybrids.
None of the other companies in the coalition cover news, so they aren't related at all, which is very much standard practice for these groups. They have nothing to gain by inviting companies with whom they compete, and thus none of them would benefit by trying to undermine Augmented Eye's credibility as a news source. 1920s, the California government was pretty much going bankrupt.
Careful, that's future knowledge. It has to happen now.
A poor national economy and repeated voter initiatives meant the state didn't have the tax revenue to continue running municipal services. They kept pushing the tax burden down the totem pole until poorer cities were just flat broke. No police, no road work, complete public service collapse.
Sounds like the world went to hell.
Then, one of the smaller cities sold all of their public infrastructure, police and fire included, to a private corporation. This was eventually challenged in court, but several Silicon Valley corporations started a grassroots initiative to have citizens pass an amendment to the state constitution allowing it. They succeeded, and most of the major cities in the state sold off their public services to private corporations. Some places, like Los Angeles, just sold to the highest bidder. Which is probably why LA is essentially in a constant gang turf war, with one side wearing the uniforms of the studio-owned police forces. The cities in the Bay Area were a little more selective, and most of the municipal services are owned by multi-corporation coalitions. They split the bill of running the city between them and keep each other from being too corrupt in their usage of the police force and such, from fear of a PR disaster and being kicked out of the coalition. It means there isn't as much money going around, which is why the NSFPD's equipment is out of date and the MeshNet is so successful over normal cable networks. After all, without the promise of the city infrastructure bought and paid for, the corporations all treat running the city like a charity and PR stunt. But at least the police aren't irredeemably corrupt. The fire trucks still show up on time, and the water runs to all parts of the city.
Joke.
That can't be said for some areas of the state. I haven't spent enough time learning about the subject, or politics in general, to give you an educated answer. If I go by the posts people make on the MeshNet, I'd say a combination of having bigger fish to fry and caving to corporate pressure.
So I'm taking it the MeshNet is this version of Facebook, but Facebook's not around in 2064.
People seem certain that the larger multinational companies would love to be able to buy their own towns on a national scale, and are pumping money into Congress to try and make that happen. They hold up Neo-SF as an example of their success, while trying to bury the problems in LA as an anomaly. Combine that with unrest abroad, and I guess they don't have a whole lot of motivation to try and stop it. Historical precedent seems to lend credence to this interpretation, if you're willing to believe my hasty readings on the subject. You're welcome. I am happy to assist.